Our verse for today concludes our week of scriptures about forgiveness, and it's part of the gospel lesson that I'll be preaching on this Sunday. It's from Matthew chapter 18, verses 21 to 22, and it's a statement that comes from Peter to Jesus. Then Peter came and said to him, "Lord, if another member of the church sins against me, how often should I forgive? As many as 7 times?" Jesus said to him, "Not 7 times, but I tell you, 77 times." Now this, frankly, seems hard to believe, right? I mean, Peter, first of all, thought he was being super spiritual in suggesting that he would forgive someone as many as 7 times. According to Jewish tradition, you forgave someone 3 times, that was kind of it. And so Peter kind of took that 3, doubled it, added 1 to see that he would really be spiritual, he thought, in asking Jesus if he forgave someone in the church 7 times, if that would be more than enough. And he's shocked, and I'm sure everyone listening to Jesus was shocked when Jesus said not 7 times, but 77 times. And again, that doesn't even mean that at the 78th time, then you can stop forgiving. The point is that our forgiveness is to be incalculable. There is not to be a limit to forgiveness. Now, we probably hearing that, I know there's a couple things perhaps that start to go through our mind. Well, what about if someone repeatedly, intentionally, and seriously continues to sin against me in the same way? What do I do then? Well, for one thing, you'll have to listen to the sermon when I have more than a couple minutes to talk about this theme, and I hope you will. But notice what Jesus does. Peter is talking about forgiveness from a very human standpoint. And Jesus then ends up in Matthew 18 telling a parable which takes the focus off of the people and puts it instead on God and how incredibly generous God's forgiveness is. And if God's forgiveness is so great, as we've heard throughout this week with these scriptures on forgiveness, the question then becomes, how can I be miserly when it comes to forgiveness when God is so incredibly generous and gracious to me? How many times do we need to forgive if a brother or sister in the church sins against us? More times than we care to imagine. And so I pray that if there is someone in the church or someone in your life who has sinned against you, or if you have sinned against them, that you will be generous and gracious in being forgiving. See you in worship this week.